from our studio, I'm Ryder Bullock. Tonight, we welcome you to what has so often felt like a chapter in an ongoing California epic. The purple and gold of the Los Angeles Lakers, the royal blue and gold of the Golden State Warriors, two franchises that in different ways and in different eras have shaped the modern NBA. 30 minutes from now, the Lakers arrive at 34-24, sixth in the Western Conference. The Warriors 31-28 sit eighth. Close enough to matter, far enough back to feel urgency. The headline coming in belongs to Luka Doncic. In a 113-110 loss to Phoenix, he poured in 41 points. A reminder that brilliance does not always guarantee victory, but it does travel well. And the Lakers will need it tonight in a building that has often amplified both drama and difficulty. Golden State, even in transition, remains defined by the three-point line. They lead the league at 16.4 made threes per game, shooting just over 36% from beyond the arc. It is modern basketball in its purest form. Space, pace, and the persistent threat that a 10-point deficit can vanish in 2 minutes. Moses Moody has been steady, Brandon Padinsky versatile, and over the last 10 games, Moody has quietly averaged nearly 16 a night. But the story hovering over this game is the absence of Stephen Curry. For a moment, it seemed possible he might return tonight. Instead, the knee keeps him sidelined with hope now centered on Monday against the Clippers. When Curry sits, the geometry of the floor changes, defenses exhale, rotations shorten, and Golden State must rediscover points by committee rather than inventability. The Lakers, meanwhile, have been efficient, nearly 50% shooting on the season, and resilient in close games, 6-2 in one-possession contests. LeBron James continues to defy arithmetic, averaging 21.5 points, nearly 6 rebounds, 7 assists. Numbers that feel routine until you remember the calendar. Austin Reeves has provided timely scoring, and this team is, while imperfect, has shown it can execute late. The previous meeting, February 8th, belonged to Los Angeles, a 105-99 win, with LeBron contributing 20. So it is a familiar script tonight. The stars are steady, the defense is timely, and the margin is narrow. Over the last 10 games, neither team has surged. The Warriors are 4-6, the Lakers 5-5. Points scored and allowed nearly mirror one another, which brings us to tonight's essential question. Who imposes style? Does Golden State turn it into a rhythm game of movement and threes, or does Los Angeles' leverage, size, efficiency, and late-game composure prove to be the difference maker? We'll find out in about 27 minutes from now. Injuries do matter. Draymond Green is day-to-day. Jimmy Butler III is out for the season. Rui Hachimura may or may not go for the Lakers. And of course, without Curry, Golden State lacks its familiar North Star. But sometimes rivalry supplies what rosters temporarily cannot. The building will be loud. The stakes, though not postseason yet, feel postseason adjacent. In a Western Conference where seeding can hinge on a week, this is not merely game 59 or 60, it is leverage. Lakers and Warriors, tradition in transition, urgency, and opportunity. More on this game in a moment, but first here's what's happening in the NBA. Golden State Warriors have signed forward Guy Santos to a 3-year, $15 million contract extension with a player option for the 28-29 season. Santos, 23, has become a developmental success story after being selected 55th overall in the 2022 NBA Draft. He worked his way up from the Santa Cruz Warriors and spent 3 seasons on a minimum deal before emerging as a key rotation player. Over the past 2 months, Santos has stepped into the starting lineup following Jimmy Butler's ACL injury. He scored in double figures in 11 of his past 12 games and is averaging 31 minutes per game in February. With restricted free agency looming this summer, Golden State acted early to secure a young ascending wing for at least 2 more seasons. Denver Nuggets star Nikola Jokic criticized Oklahoma City Thunder guard Lugnitz Dort for what he called an unnecessary trip during last night's 127-121 overtime loss in Oklahoma City. The fourth quarter incident escalated into a confrontation involving Jokic and Thunder center Jalen Williams. Officials upgraded Dort's foul to a flagrant 2, resulting in an automatic ejection. Jokic and Williams received technical fouls but were not ejected. Crew chief James Williams cited unnecessary and excessive contact with high injury potential. Thunder coach Mark Dingelnot questioned whether similar plays would receive the same ruling league-wide. The altercation overshadowed the return of reigning MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who scored 36 points but sat out overtime due to a minutes restriction. Jokic recorded his league-leading 22nd triple-double, 23 points, 17 rebounds, 14 assists, though Denver has struggled in clutch situations since his return from injury. The Boston Celtics posted one of the most efficient offensive performances in NBA history with a 148-111 win over the Brooklyn Nets. Boston shot 66.7% from the field and 64.7% from three-point range, producing an 80.8% effective field goal percentage, the highest in the shot clock era. Jaylen Brown led the way with 28 points, 9 assists, and 7 rebounds, while trade acquisition Nikola Vucevic added 28 points and 11 rebounds. All 13 Celtics players scored, and Boston committed just 3 second-half turnovers. The team has won 5 of 6 since the All-Star break and now awaits a potential return from star forward Jason Tatum, who is nearing a comeback from a ruptured Achilles suffered in last year's Eastern Conference semifinals. So if you step back and you look at the broader NBA landscape, 3 themes emerge. Number 1, Golden State's organizational model, the Warriors' extension of Guy Santos, underscores the value of eternal player development. In an era of aggressive trades and max contracts, Golden State is reinforcing sustainable roster building, identifying, nurturing, and retaining young talent before the market dictates the price. Number 2 is a rising playoff intensity in the West. The Jokic-Dort altercation is less about one foul and more about escalating postseason energy. The Nuggets and Thunder are clearly on a collision course as Western contenders. Physicality, officiating standards, and emotional control will shape their playoff fortunes. And lastly, Boston's championship ceiling. The Celtics' offensive explosion demonstrates their versatility and depth. If Tatum returns at full strength without disrupting chemistry, Boston's balance of efficiency, spacing, and ball movement make them arguably the most complete team in the East. So, as March approaches, the league storylines are shaping and sharpening and emerging youth in Golden State, brewing rivalry in the West, and potential dominance in Boston, all converging toward what promises to be a highly charged postseason. Earlier today, the Charlotte Hornets found just enough warmth from distance and more than enough poise everywhere else to dispatch the Portland Trail Blazers 109-93. This was not merely a fourth straight victory, it was confirmation that Charlotte's surge is not some statistical mirage born solely on a record-tying binge from beyond the arc, but a team learning that cadence of winning basketball matters. Brandon Miller was the metronome. The second-year wing poured in 26 points and gathered 8 rebounds, 6 of his baskets arriving from that increasingly reliable frontier beyond the three-point line. Where others rush, Miller glides. 4 of those triples came in the second quarter, a personal flurry that has steadied Charlotte and nudged them toward a 51-43 halftime advantage. The Hornets, who had authored 72 three-pointers across their previous 3 games, equaling an NBA record for a 3-game span, cooled to a comparatively modest 16 for 42 on Saturday. But context matters. After Portland missed all 10 of its three-point attempts in the first quarter, Charlotte didn't need pyrotechnics. It needed control, and it seized it early, leading 29-17 after 1. Kobe White supplied the spark off the bench with 20 points, the kind of instant offense that blends a defense just enough to create breathing room. LaMelo Ball orchestrated with 15 points and 8 assists, conducting the offense with composure's calm. And Mozua Diabete delivered one of those quietly indispensable performances. 13 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. The connective tissue between possession and purpose. At 30-31, the Hornets now sit within a single game of 500. That number, once distant, now feels within reach and earned. For Portland, the night was defined by drought. Drew Holiday's 25 points and Jamari Grant's 21 kept the Blazers within striking distance, and they trimmed the deficit to 74-67 after 3 quarters. But the fourth quarter brought another chill. Portland missed 10 of 12 from deep in the final frame and finished 11 for 47 from beyond the arc, 23.4%, a figure that tells the story as plainly as the scoreboard. They were without all-star Denny Aveja for a third straight game due to a back injury, and at times the offense appeared to miss both his versatility as his ball stat. So, the takeaways. Well, Charlotte's shooting may have cooled from historic to merely effective, but its confidence has not. The ball moves, the roles are defined, the defense travels, and perhaps most importantly, the Hornets are beginning to look like a team that understands not just how to score, but how to sustain. Next up, Portland visits Atlanta tomorrow, searching for rhythm. Charlotte returns home Tuesday to host Dallas with momentum and the promise of equilibrium firmly in hand. Now back to the Lakers and the Warriors. There are games in February that feels like page markers, and there are games that feel like punctuation marks. Tonight in San Francisco is the latter. The Golden State Warriors host the Los Angeles Lakers at Chase Center. 2 Pacific Division counterparts separated by geography, history, and just enough space in the Western Conference standings to make this one matter deeply. The Lakers arrive at 34-24, clinging to 6th in the West, a single game ahead of Phoenix for the final guaranteed playoff berth. The Warriors, 31-28, lurk 3 games back, very much within striking distance. With 24 games remaining in the season, the margin between home court and the play-in can evaporate in an instant. So tonight isn't about nostalgia, it's about positioning. Los Angeles comes in wounded but not broken. 2 straight one-possession losses, 113-110 at Phoenix, 110-109 against Orlando, have amplified scrutiny. As head coach J.J. Redick noted, Lakers' losses echo louder. That comes with the territory. Still, the larger body of work tells a steadier story. The Lakers have been reliable in clutch situations most of the season. The question now isn't whether they can execute late, it's how often they're forced to. Golden State, meanwhile, remains unpredictable in the modest, compelling way. Since the All-Star break, they've beaten Denver convincingly. They've lost to New Orleans inexplicably and dismantled Memphis empathetically. In Wednesday's 113-112 rout, 9 Warriors scored at least 9 points. A democratic display in a season suddenly devoided to its usual hierarchy. So no Stephen Curry, no Jimmy Butler, and yet no surrender. This is the kind of game that clarifies identity. Here is tonight's keys to the game. Number 1, the Luka equation. Luka Doncic is posting MVP caliber numbers, 32.7 points, 8.6 assists, 7.8 rebounds. Golden State without Curry lacks a neutral counterweight in late game shot creation. If Doncic controls tempo and hunts mismatches, this tilts purple and gold. Number 2, collective versus star power. Golden State's path is multiplicity. Brandon Podensky, Moses Moody, and Al Horford must collectively offset the Lakers' trio of Doncic, LeBron James, and Austin Reeves. The Warriors don't need one 35-point scorer. They need 5 players between 12 and 20. Number 3, late game poise. 2 recent Laker losses by a combined 4 points suggest volatility, not collapse. But if this game is within the final 2 minutes and the scoreboard is within 5, experience favors Los Angeles, particularly with LeBron James orchestrating the symphony. Pace and points. The total sits at 228.5. Recent history between these teams tends to be high. Golden State without Curry has leaned into pace and compensation. Los Angeles, with its offensive firepower healthy, can oblige. If the tempo climbs into the 100-102 possession range, the over becomes very alive and well. Take a look at the numbers. The Lakers are 18-12 on the road. The Warriors are 19-11 at home. Lakers lead the all-time series 266-178. Vegas has the spread at the Lakers -4.5. Total over under 228.5, courtesy of Caesars Sportsbook. Here is tonight's pick and play. The best bet is over 228.5. I think this is going to be a very high scoring game. The projection models forecast roughly 237 combined points. 8 of the last 10 meetings have gone over. So Golden State's recent games have trended upward in scoring, and Los Angeles has too much shot making to be contained for 4 quarters. You're going to lean Lakers 4.5. Without Curry, Golden State's margin for error narrows considerably in close games. You expect Doncic and James to control the final 6 minutes. I'm picking the Lakers tonight. No Stephen Curry tonight. I think this Doncic James duo is going to be too much for them. And in the West, separation is subtle. A single week can move a team from home court to the play-in. So tonight isn't definitive, but it is directional. For the Lakers, it's about steadiness. For the Warriors, it's survival. And for the rest of us, it's simply another chapter in a rivalry that refuses to feel routine. That'll do it for me on this episode of the Hardwood Report. I'll see you later for the Hardwood Report at the half.